Hello everyone, Chris Profi, Musically Obsessed. I am back with another contest entry. And tonight, I'm going to be doing David Newton's Decade Contest. He is celebrating 200 subscribers, so congratulations to David Newton. I'm getting close to 200 as well, so, my wheels are turning for a possible contest for you guys out there. This is an interesting one, picking an album that you like or a song that you like from each decade. I try to limit my choices to vinyl because I have a bunch of CDs as well, but I wanted to limit my choices to what I have on vinyl and limit it, to my 270 albums that I have back there. So let me show you what I came up with. And here we go. So from the 1960s, I pulled Frank Sinatra, A Man Alone. This came out in 1969 on the Reprise label. I'm a huge Frank Sinatra fan. These are the songs of Rod McKuen. So he does A Man Alone on here, I've Been to Town, The Single Man, The Beautiful Strangers, Love's Been Good to Me. And what's cool about this album is there are some spoken word sections by Frank Sinatra, and it's a concept record about being alone. So I kind of dig that. So that's my pull from the 60s. Next, the 70s. Well, I'm a huge Kiss fan, and my favorite member of Kiss is Peter Criss. This came out in 1978. This is his solo record on the Casablanca label. And this is an original pressing that has all the goodies inside. So you have the original poster that came with all 4 of the solo records. You also have the original printed inner sleeve. Another inner sleeve that lists the song titles. And I believe there's an order form in here as well. Yes, there is. There's also a Kiss Army order form to order a bunch of goodies. So I thought that was pretty cool. Definitely loved me some Kiss, and I love that Peter Criss solo album. The other album from the 70s that I wanted to show you is from 1970. This is Miles Davis, Black Beauty, live at the Fillmore West. This is actually a reissue, but originally came out in 1970. This is on the Columbia label. Just awesome, awesome live Miles Davis, jazz, funk, fusion, madness. Love this album. It sounds great too. This happens to be on 180 gram vinyl. All right, now, the 80s. I love hair metal from the 80s, but I wanted to kind of concentrate on maybe some, how would you describe this? Maybe electronic music, the beginnings of alternative music. So the first one I pulled was Depeche Mode, 101. This is a live album. I love Depeche Mode. I grew up on Violator. I grew up on Music for the Masses. I love Black Celebration. Even some of their later albums. Which one did I just pick up? Oh, Playing the Angel, which is awesome. This is a live album. I believe this is from the Music of the Masses tour. It's awesome. If you like Depeche Mode, they sound great live. So that's one of my 80s pulls. The other, oh, actually, I have two more. Jesus and Mary Chain. This is Barbed Wire Kisses. This came out, this is a compilation that came out in 1988. It's, like it says, it's a collection of B-sides and other things. I love the Jesus and Mary Chain. Psycho Candy is a great album. I love Darklands. Automatic is a great album. And, you know, they're just a great band. If you've never heard the Jesus and Mary Chain, think about the Beach Boys, but with a lot of fuzz and distortion behind it. It's really cool stuff. Love Jesus and Mary Chain. And my other album, this is kind of an obscure one. This is a band called Slovenly. This came out in 1986. This is their album, Thinking of Empire. And I've talked about Slovenly before. They're an SST band. They're sort of like a mixture of a lot of different styles. They have some jangly guitars, some sort of monotone vocals, kind of REM-esque arrangements. Very cool stuff. They did a video for the song Movement. So if you want to hear what Slovenly sounds like, I would look up the song Movement on YouTube. There's a video for that where they're hanging out by the beach. Very cool band. This came out in 1986. All right, now we're moving into the 90s. And I actually did a video on this album before. This is Melancholy in the Infinite Sadness by the Smashing Pumpkins. And this is definitely, well, this is the box set. And this is definitely my favorite album from the 90s. I've called it the White Album of the 90s, actually, because this album includes so many different styles, just like the White Album had. They have some soft folky stuff on here. They have some heavy metal stuff. They have rock and roll, just strange arrangements on certain songs. Just a little bit of everything on here. So, Melancholy in the Infinite Sadness. That's my 90s pull. Okay, now, 2000s. I've talked about this band before, AFI. This is an album called The Art of Drowning. This came out in 2000. This happens to be on gray vinyl. I love AFI. The lead singer is Davey Havok, and he's got such a cool voice. These guys are punk, but I feel like there's so much more than punk. They were influenced by the Misfits and Sam Hain. They were also influenced by bands like Depeche Mode. So they kind of bring a lot of those elements in, and they put their own twist on things. And I feel like they keep developing their sound. Not, every AFI album sounds a little different. They were straight ahead punk in the beginning, but if you listen to their new album, The Missing Man, it's got so many other sounds to it. And it just goes beyond punk. Just a very, very cool band. I've talked about another side project that Davey Havok has. It's called Black Audio. And that shows you his Depeche Mode roots. So I feel like Depeche Mode is running through this like a theme. But, they were a pretty influential band. So that's my pull from the 2000s. Now, the 2010s. This is an interesting one. I've never shown this one. This is a band called Only Crime. And this is their album Pursuance. And let's see. This came out on Rise Records. I'll show you guys what the vinyl looks like. Oh, this is on purple vinyl. And how did I come across this band? Well, anybody who watches my channel knows that I'm a huge Black Flag fan. And one of the drummers in Black Flag was Bill Stevenson. Well, this band includes Bill Stevenson on drums. I like the back cover. They make it kind of look like an older record style. And this came out in 2014. How would I describe Only Crime? Well, it's kind of like if you took Black Flag but you sort of harnessed their sound a little bit, cleaned it up a little bit, gave it a polish. That's how I would describe Only Crime. Very cool if you're into, contemporary punk music. And lastly, I'm going to do the bonus question about love songs. And one of my favorite singer-songwriters who this guy does great love songs is Gordon Lightfoot. And this is one of my favorite albums by him called Shadows. And the title track of Shadows is awesome. If you've never heard it, definitely look it up. It's one of my favorite love songs, and very cool. So that's my contest entry. So hopefully you guys liked it, and you know what? Congratulations again to David Newton for your 200 subscribers. And I'm going to be watching some more videos. I want to see what everybody else posts too. All right, enjoy the rest of your evening and listen to music.